this short video, I'll be showing you our new tool, Power BI Export, which is available in our Kobi Toolkit for Revit 2022 release. In here, I have a Revit model. And if I come up here to our Kobi Toolkit ribbon, I'm going to come over here to the Power BI Export. I'm going to go ahead and click on this. It's going to bring up a dialog box here in a second. Inside this dialog box, we have a few options in here, like if we want to just do the active view, the model here, whatever we're selecting. We can pick what we want to export out. It's going to export this out into an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to strip the units out, so we're not going to have an FT or an M. We're going to take out the units. We just want the value there. We can export as a 3D mesh, and we can also specify our LOD, so like 100, 200, 300. We're just going to leave it at 100. I can pick whatever I want, and then I would go export here. And what this would export out is you'd specify where you're going to export it. I'm not going to export it out here. So once that export goes out, then we're going to jump into Power BI. And so here's my Power BI. This is the desktop version. I'm going to go get the data. I'm now going to click on Import Data from Excel. And I'm going to click on the Excel workbook here, and I'm going to go Connect. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the one that's on my desktop. And I'm going to grab this one, Test Power BI. And I'm going to go Open. So this is going to load in this data that I've exported out of Revit. I'm going to click on this Kobi Toolkit for Power BI, and we're just going to go load. Alright, so this is the Power BI desktop. So now once this is loaded, this file, I'm going to load my visuals that we've created. And so if we come over here and we click on Get More Visuals, I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go Import Visuals from File. Now I know where I've actually placed these, but we're going to go back into Revit real quick. And I'm just going to show you. If I go back up here to Power BI Export, we're going to come down here to Visual, and this will actually show you where I've actually placed these. So we're just going to go ahead and save that. That's where these visuals are placed. That's the only reason that button's there, so you know where they're at. So I'm going to cancel that. We're going to go back into Power BI. I'm going to go to that location, so I'm going to paste it in there. I'm going to press Enter. And we have two of them that we can load, a 2D or a 3D. I'm just going to load the 3D to show you how this works. So we're going to go ahead and go Open. And this has now loaded this little visual right here. Alright, to show you how this works, now we're just going to go ahead and click on this visual. Throwing in a little image here. And so now what we want to do is we want to start adding the data. So we can see here I've got an ID, a caption, values, and geometry. So the first thing I want is the ID. So I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop that in there. The next thing I want to put in here is the name. And I'll drag and drop the name in here for the caption. As you can see here, this is going to keep spinning until I fill in the geometry. The next thing I want to fill in, I'll say area. So let's just drag and drop that here. And then the last thing I want to put in the geometry. And there's the 3D geometry. I could do the 2D also, but we're going to go ahead and go 3D. And then so now this is what's actually happened, is it's actually gone through here. And it brought in all this. And so you can spin this around, zoom in and out, but this is my model that's in Revit. I've exported it out as an Excel spreadsheet. We have now a visual so we can actually see this. Well, now let's look at some other things we can do inside here. So let's go ahead. I want to add in maybe the category. And so I could take this category and I could drag and drop it right here. And there it shows me all the different categories. I might want to just click on the doors. And I can click on the doors and you can see how it highlights all the doors. If I click on the doors again, it'll show everything else once again. That's just one option in there. And we can add in other things in here, like maybe the area. And I could drag and drop and it'll actually populate the area in here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. Let's do one more in here. The other thing I might want to look at doing is, let's look at a slicer here. So if I click on the slicer, put in a slicer here, and I'll do the same thing. I'll go category. And I'll drag in the category into there. And now you can see if I want to click on the doors, it'll then isolate those doors for me. And other things you can do in here is turning around and say, oh, make this a horizontal. So now you have buttons. Can you just show me all the furniture that I have in here? And there it shows you all the different furniture. And one other thing that we have also is if you go to a web page here, just go into BI Kobi Tools here. come in here and we can go import. I'm going to go import this file I just had. So this is going to bring up, this is just a web page that you can go to, load your file. There it is. I'm going to quickly go over here to color code, and I'm going to come in here and say, let's color code this by the category. I click on this. It's going to take a few seconds as it goes through, but there you can now see it's color coded this by the category. You can spin this around. I can change the colors in here. So if I really wanted those roofs to be green, I could do that. Just click on this and turn it back on. This concludes this short video on Export Power BI, which is part of the Kobi Toolkit for Revit 2022.